Welcome to Petite Marxist Clover, covering Ave Mortis, as I call it. I am your host, Angles Next Door, and with my co-host today, Hopspot.
Ave Mortiska? Ave Mortiska?
Ave Mortiska. Because this show has just turned, as we kind of always said, since episode 2, this show has really been about Mortis. We kind of figured this out from second week. It was very much about Mortis. I did not think the Mortis plotline would be as fruitful and as funny as it has been.
I'm enjoying it.
Even though a lot of people are like, this girl is having a mental health crisis. She literally has a psychotic break this episode, which people don't know is a psychotic break, which is peak humor.
That feeling when every psychotic break you have, everyone's like, wow, you're such a great actor.
Acting, it's so good.
It's like you're having a breakdown in real life.
She's like, I love the scene where she has the break, that it's like edited in a way that, oh, it's good they're editing this, because this would look really silly if somebody actually was filming this. Lo and behold, we could see on X, formerly known as Xter, we get to see what the whole unedited footage looks like. And it's just very silly and very depressing. And very depressing. As a person that kind of had to interact with people when they're having this kind of state, it's not a very pleasant thing to see at all. I guess, like, settings where I've been into, like, sometimes in, like, a hospital setting, but this is, like, in a very public space, so maybe people, as it's a public space, and how space really controls how we interact with somebody going through having a psychotic break, that people find it more of the acting than, this is kind of strange.
Yeah.
That this is happening right now. Also, I guess she is a celebrity, and a celebrity's daughter. It's also it's funny, because, like, before this scene, she, like, rolled down some stairs as well. So, this is, like, even though we find it very funny, this is maybe one of the most disturbing scenes of the whole show thus far. Because it is this child who just fell down an obnoxiously large amount of stairs. Our friend, who is an actor, did not have to act and do, like, a falling down the stairs of that many stairs at one time.
He did it more often, though.
He did do it more often. So eventually, the amount of times he had to practice it built up to the point where he did that. But yeah, like, she has this break, and she's talking to herself. And I guess maybe before we get deeper into this, we should overarch the whole episode before we get to this point. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so last week we left off in the billiards room, where if she would have listened to the hit musical Music Man, she would have known that we got trouble right here in this house. And it starts with P and ends with C and rhymes with pool. I don't remember all the lyrics of the Music Man. But I think billiards are dangerous. This is why she is such a naughty girl. Oh, sorry. Her father is naughty because he stole all that money. He totally did that. I like that the show has never gone face off about that. Have we ever really said that the dad probably never stole anything, and that this is like his grandfather just setting him up?
And there's a moment in the show where he shows up again, and it's like a horror scene.
Oh, in this episode.
It's like he's in the depths of hell.
He's, what is her name? He's like, Sakiko, is that you? And that's like the most emotion we have seen from this character since, like, he hugged her when she was a Pepe, like the first episode.
It's like the Jim Reeves song Partners, when they're like, is that the devil at the door, waiting for my soul, or is it just the old man?
Yep.
Looking for his gold.
Yep. Everyone knows that artist.
Everyone knows Jim Reeves. I mean, it's Elvis, the Beatles, and Jim Reeves, the big three.
I think of the big three as
Kendrick, Cole, and Drake.
Yeah, or I was gonna say Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer.
I was thinking throughout this episode of the Federer quote, the demons. They're always there.
They're always there.
And That is the motto of this show.
That is the motto of the show. Not blonde girls everywhere, because the blonde girl, if we're doing keeping up with the characters, blonde girl didn't even show up in this episode at all.
Yeah.
Did purple hair girl show up in this episode?
She did. She was filming eating at a spicy ramen place.
Oh yeah. Wait, she was the one that saw the footage on X, formerly known as Exter. Right.
I know, and she probably was like, gosh, she's such a talented actor. I could never be that good of an actor as someone who's actively having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, so that's what purple hair was in this episode. No jacket required is kind of linked to our way of talking about this episode, so I'll bring no jacket required on in just a bit. So, really, this blue hair girl doesn't do all that much this episode. She talks, she kind of just sits around.
She's in physical pain from her mental pain?
Yeah, she is. She feels that ordinary pain. So, this episode follows Mutsumi and Mortis, and you're like, what, this is just about Mortis? Mutsumi shows up as a doll in this episode. We also have to talk about characters that, sadly, we cannot talk about their funny nicknames, except Heterochromia Girl. We finally got Heterochromia Girl this episode. I have so many funny thoughts about Heterochromia Girl. I don't believe she's real, but we'll get to that in just a second. We also expand more about Krychik, or cryptocurrency Togawagaru. Some of the memes for this have been excellent. Thank you, Internet, for do that. I think my favorite one is still because of somebody that made, like, out of the G gay. That's excellent. I'm going to use that.
Oh, so good.
For the rest of the time. Yeah,
Krychik is their former band.
And they're still a band.
And also a former Dutch Wimbledon champion, but, you know.
Yeah, beat Pistol Pete.
Yeah, Richard Krychik.
Richard Krychik.
And so, the Richard Krychik tribute band.
Yeah, so we got Tamori, purple, gray-haired girl. We got Anon, pink-haired girl. We got Heterochromia Girl. We'll talk about her in just a second. She plays guitar. And you're like, why didn't you say the other characters played? I know that Tamori plays the voice.
Oh, okay.
I think she's the singer, because it's part of my theory that all singers are attracted to the keyboardist character of the show, obliviousness.
Oh.
We also get more introduced to, like, Soyo, who did the work. This is the light brown haired character that we learn at the end of the last episode is hanging out with Mortis. And she hangs out with Mortis for, what was it? How many days?
I don't know, but it was several days.
And was it like 3 days? Because she didn't message her friends for like 3 days.
Yeah. And she was like in the room the whole time.
She was in the room where it happened.
I'm not sure if she even ate or anything. Like,
I don't think she did. I mean, there was a lot of food all over the place. Also, Mortis is like just bananas. Like, there was a point where you're talking to... It almost looks like what a friend of ours gave me for like my dress shoes, like these wooden inserts to make sure that they stay stable and kind of stretched out to your foot size. So it looks like they were using the bottom of like a wooden shoe thing like that to like call, and where Mortis is like, "Hello, doctor, can you hear me?" That was actually disturbing.
Oh yeah, and if it actually was one of those shoe things,
yeah,
that's actually a good metaphor, like stretching to fit into Mutsumi's shoes, or Mutsumi trying to fit into a parent's shoes.
Yes. I will.
I'm like, I've gone too far.
I think you're fine. We say our normal podcast is about overanalyzing things.
That's true.
We don't even know what the object she was holding in her hand was. And from that object that you maybe never seen before, have you seen that object that I'm talking about before?
I've seen it in dress clothes stores.
Okay, good. So you just made a very good shoot from the hip type of thought. I liked it. It was good.
Yes, Soyo is one of the things that me, as someone who's dealt with mental illness, grates me is how people who never had mental illness and never had to really deal with mental illness kind of imagine their idea of what it means to help someone with mental illness is kind of, oh, you're the hero staying the night to save the day. And this is like, no, Soyo put in the work. Where it's not easy looking after someone in a mental health crisis. It's actually really hard. And Soyo put in the work.
She did. I respect that a lot, but this is where... Who is the worst parent at this point? Bochi's parents? Or...
I have a lot of thoughts about Bochi's parents.
Yeah, or Mutsumi's parents.
Oh, Bochi's parents. Mutsumi's thing is more recent. And she was pretty functional until now.
Yeah.
I mean, if your child suddenly locks herself in a room and just doesn't respond to you, most parents are going to be a bit shell-shocked and not sure what to do. While Bochi's parents are like gaslighting themselves to thinking that Bochi is functional and that she doesn't need therapy and help, which she definitely does.
I think by the end of this episode, if the fact that she's remaining untreated, that this is getting to a crisis point where I think the parents need to step in at this point. This has gotten to such a bad place where...
Right, where she probably needs hospitalization.
I think she needs hospitalization. Really. I mean, there's almost a point, where Mortis almost feels like Mutsumi is like in like a dog and pony show, where I want you to only come out to play the guitar and never any other time.
Yes, she like buries Mutsumi in a pile of soft toys inside their psyche. And it's like, you will come out to play the guitar, but at all other times, I will be out there to protect you.
And she's like, I know it's like this doll, but like it's like really interesting too how she's like almost when she was doing that part, she's like almost like poking her eyes as well.
Yeah,
that was like that just felt very deliberate and very sinister.
I don't want you to see this.
No, because we find out that Mutsumi is a part of the growing obliviousness sexual cast of this show. But so far, I think there's 3 locked-in characters for obliviousness sexual, or Sakiko sexual. I like calling her obliviousness or keyboard girl. So I'm sorry, listener. I think Tamori, Dolores, and Mutsumi have the hots for keyboard girl. Like,
yeah,
quite a bit. Where this episode, I think, truly cemented how done bad Mutsumi is for keyboard girl. Like, because it's like the first time we've actually heard from her in about 2 episodes, right?
Oh yeah, she was asleep.
Where she's like, I want to see Sakiko. How's Sakiko doing? Is she okay? And Mortis is like, I want you to play the guitar. You shouldn't care about Sakiko. Sakiko doesn't like you. She's a meanie face.
If you see her, she will hurt you.
Yeah.
And you know, not to be like, well, my therapist said, but
yeah.
My therapist did say a lot of the issues in mental health that you have exist as the defense mechanism, and your body put it in there. There was a reason why it came back from. So if you are avoiding certain situations, and that's because you were in some situations in the past where your body's like, well, no, you should get out of here. You shouldn't be here. And that instinct just evolved from that. So I kind of like to, think about how, Mortis existed, like came into being to protect Mutsumi. But that has now outstayed its use.
Very much so.
And now she's no longer protecting her, she's just preventing her from being alive.
Yeah, and Mortis is like, I'm gonna get the band back together.
Yeah, I just need Mutsumi to play the guitar and everything will be fine. It'll be like nothing happened.
This is where Mortis is like, he's like the silliest character in the show. Well, okay, and with this line of thought, we finally have to talk about the other character, about why I think Mortis is kind of the funniest and kind of most complicated, but not greatest character. I'm talking about her fun journey with the heterochromia girl who was like replaced with Mutsumi. And that's all I think about with her is like, oh, this is the girl that replaced Mutsumi. That's all this girl is. But because she has heterochromia, she has the ability to see that there's a sleeping personality in her because she has 2 eyes. Like
This is our headcanon, to be clear. But our headcanon is she has heterochromia, so she can see two different personalities in one person.
It seems that way. Like, thank God Musume doesn't have 3 personalities. Or else, like, she would only be able to see 2. I now just had this weird thought, like, what if, like, it's the 2 most active personalities? So, she only can see the 2 most active.
Oh, and like there's a rolling ranking system going on.
Yeah. What is that? What is that? Voting where you vote by
rank choice.
Rank choice voting. Yeah, her Chromia gives her rank choice, like dissociative identity disorder eyes, where she could see who has the highest rank choice votes in the body.
Yes.
We talked about this off air. I almost want to believe that also their Chromia girl isn't real. She is a cat. And her sole mission is to bring the band back together. Cry Chick and Ave Mojica.
That theory is growing on me, because she doesn't really speak much, other than in short sentences. She just hangs out with stray cats.
She goes all like Murakami girl on us. She just kind of she kind of like goes absolutely nowhere, and one girl follows her. It's like, you're just the most interesting thing ever. After
Mortis is besotted with this girl.
After Soyo is like, put the work in. Like, stop Mortis from, like, basically dying.
Yeah, Soyo's like, bitch, I was, like, holding your hand for 3 days straight, and you meet one heterochromia cat girl, and now you're, like, inseparable from her?
It's like, you can play the guitar, can you teach me to play the guitar? I think that's kind of what she wants, right?
Yeah, or at least to hear the guitar.
Yeah, she wants. Because it helps Mutsumi. Yeah, like they go and hang out with some cats, and I like that the whole walk they took. Literally, the heterochromia girl didn't say a single thing. Okay, so they said there's 2 of you, but one's asleep, and it just walks out from looks like the Shake Shack or the cafe that they're at, where they're also practicing. That was
and had a really big staircase.
Yeah, we'll go past the staircase. Yeah, the heterochromia girl is weird. I find it silly.
Yeah, she is the magical realism.
So, is there anything you want to say before we get back to the mental breakdown staircase?
No.
Okay, because there's a lot of things that I have to say about the mental breakdown staircase. One, she fell downstairs, and she didn't break any bones in her body. And I think the power of being a young person is incredible. But she fell down the staircase and nobody asked her if she was okay. They just filmed her.
Okay, the people who filmed her didn't see her fall down. Did they?
Oh, that's right. So, she was in the cafe practice space, which I wish I could get a cafe practice space. She literally she's literally having an argument with Mutsumi. But yeah, now that I guess if I saw somebody coming out of a random cafe practice space and they start doing like a monologue, maybe I wouldn't be as weirded out by it if I didn't see the falling down the stairs.
Yeah, because it was a monologue, and you don't hear monologues in real life that much, so you might just assume it's an act, like it's a performance.
Oh, and I like that when Soyo, MVP of this episode, she should be a therapist, basically says, please don't take any photos. That is bad. She is having a mental break. She is having a mental breakdown.
Gosh, Soyo is just coming in clutch again and again.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about the mental breakdown?
I just say a member of the year candidate already.
Yeah. I think the show is very hard for us to top. This is the most fun I've had with an anime since I can't think of it right now, but it is probably the most fun I've had. I don't think there's anything like this last year that was as fun to talk about.
This might be the most fun we've had talking about the anime since The Angel Next Door.
It's probably was The Angel Next Door. This is the most fun. The Angel Next Door, all of our fun. I mean, we'll eventually maybe do this type of thing for Angel Next Door.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Eventually. It's still a long ways off. So in this episode, the Cry Chick finally figure out why the band failed. We already know why it broke up.
But the members are learning for the first time.
Yeah, they learn. I mean, we talked before the podcast, and you said, why would anybody Google somebody when you say, I have to break up the band?
Yeah, if someone left my middle school band,
Yeah.
my instinct isn't gonna be, let's Google her name so that we can find out whether she's the granddaughter of a major conglomerate that got involved in a fraud scandal.
Okay, it's not a major conglomerate. What is it? Say it. You know what it is.
Togawa Group.
Yeah, the biggest shills for Togawa Group don't know about the biggest scandal of the Togawa Group era that we're living in.
Well, they're fans. They're not going to pay attention to the bad news.
That's true. They're like,
they probably only get their Togawa Group information from the official sources.
you just weren't cool in middle school and had friends that had money and were part of a conglomerate, because we grew up in a country where I don't think there's conglomerates in the same way in the United States.
No, conglomerates in the East Asian sense are very specific.
Yeah.
But I guess in this context, the social structures they create do exist.
Yeah.
We went to public schools. We
did.
We weren't going to brush shoulders with rich kids.
Yeah, they. So I guess we also haven't talked about one character who we found out, Taki, as her name is. She goes to the same school as No Jacket Required and talks to No Jacket Required in this episode.
And is in love with No Jacket Required.
Okay. Also, is almost the same exact character as No Jacket Required, at least in my belief. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she's also the bassist of the group, and if you styled her hair a little bit differently, that it'd be hard to tell them alike.
Oh yeah, totally. Like even the way they handle themselves.
It's very much of that joke that is sometimes see that with couples, where it's like, the longer you're with somebody, the more you become like the person you're with.
Whoa. Even though in this episode they kind of had a lovers quarrel
at the vending machine.
I mean, that's where all the lovers spats happen.
It is weird how often that does happen in Japanese high school settings, where
because you get a drink
with your friend.
Well, it's like, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Let me get you a drink and sit down at the bench and let's talk it out.
One of us will probably buy the drink.
Oh,
this time. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look. Who actually goes to the house?
To what house? Soya goes to the dad.
Oh, so it's Soya. Soya's the MVP of this episode. Yeah, Soya goes to Keyboard Girl, Oblivious Nusnus. Goes to the dad, and then the dad's like, I want to see Isake, is that you? Have you come home after all this time? And then she kind of runs away scared. It's excellent.
It was a very well-directed horror scene.
It's a very well-directed horror scene. But I'm not gonna lie, if he wasn't in a poor place, that's scary. Just like a dude asking if, like, his daughter is outside.
But that's the problem. It's like the bowels of hell, which is poverty in a capitalist society.
It's true. Only liminal horror works in nice buildings. Like, liminal horror in, like, a poor place is not the same.
I mean, there is a reason why Parasite is maybe one of the scariest horror films of all time.
I mean, the anxiety's high. Yeah. That fingering scene. Ugh.
You know, what is the moment where there was, like, someone knocked? Yeah, that moment in a few episodes ago when Mortis, like, Abi Mujica just found out that Mortis is a separate personality.
Yeah, and they knocked.
And they're in the room, and Mortis knocks. That reminded me of the moment in Parasite where the old housekeeper rings on the doorbell, and that's when everything goes downhill.
Yeah.
And you know that moment it happens, there's a certain tension that makes you know that nothing is going to be the same after this.
Oh yeah, that's when the second movie starts. Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they find out about this, and it's funny. It's just really funny that they can Google their friend. Like, most people can't Google their friend and find out, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Not many times can you Google our friend. I mean, like, I guess you could Facebook them, but most of the time, you won't.
It was weird for us
Yeah.
as high schoolers, and certainly more when we were in college.
Yeah.
It was an era where you could, like, meet somebody, and if you knew the name, you knew you could find them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that era has gone.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird because that was always an option in our generation, which is kind of weird.
But alienation, getting more and more separated, more and more alone.
I mean, it's probably a good thing that we can't instantly creep on everybody we meet for the first time.
That's why we did. That's why I just creeped on people on profile pics that we like, and we slide into their defensive midfielder.
You gotta get those one-footed tackles in.
You know it. We got a Segunda Volante.
Do Segunda Volantes do a lot of tackling? They seem to be more on-the-ball kind of midfielders.
They feel like weird ball progressors at times.
Yeah! You know, ball progressors, I feel are, like, really rare in football history, and particularly now. Because nowadays, you could always pass.
And this is why my favorite meta Football Manager player will always be Renato Sanchez, because he was a monster at progressing the ball. He was a true box-to-box player in every sense. Much like Soyo, the box-to-box player. High work rate, high teamwork, high leadership.
But doesn't get the appreciation she deserves?
FM25 was recently cancelled.
Yeah, we're trying to cope here by turning Ave Mujica into Football Manager.
Yes. We're very sad about it. Yeah, Soyo, best character. I am still... I think I will riot if we do not hear a Krychik song next episode. I want to hear what the band sounds like. Okay, other question I'll ask you. So, where are we on the spectrum right now? Are we on the spectrum that Keyboardist is going to rejoin Krychik, or is Ave Mujica coming back?
Keyboardist rejoins Krychik.
Oh. Also, we did forget to mention that psychotic break that literally people thought Ave Mujica was going to come back. Because they were like, wow, that acting is so good.
If there's good acting, it must be Ave Mujica. They were the gold standard in acting.
I also like to think that there are 3 characters in Ave Mujica that I feel that their stage presence matters. Like the purple hair girl, the keyboardist, and the blonde girl. And the only reason why people care about Mortis is that she's the child of 2 extremely popular entertainers.
I mean, that is the root of her drama.
Yeah. I feel that if she was never unmasked, that people wouldn't care about her.
Oh yeah, and she would have been really happy. And this show wouldn't have happened.
It would have been blonde, purple hair, and blue-haired girl. But ever since she got unmasked, everyone's like, well, that's the most important character of this story.
See, this is why Purple-Haired Girl is the real antagonist of the season.
Even though I think Mortis is like, the most intriguing character.
She is so compelling.
She is so compelling as a character. Keyboardist, we also have a poll where I also could see her getting killed or dying in this show.
Soyo looked like she was going to kill Keyboard this next episode.
Like, what if they try... This whole show is like a large way of basically launching another Bang Dream group, but also pushing out the Sakiko character and actress from Ave Mujica, making Ave Mujica now just blonde girl, Mortis, no jacket required, and a Morris. And this is actually going to reflect in real reality.
That would actually be a pretty good band.
This would be like the most intriguing high concept, trying to create 2 different bands from an anime. Because like, as we think we call it in English television, it feels like we're watching like a backdoor pilot in the middle of a show. Which a backdoor pilot is when you're watching like a long running show, they basically have an episode of the show where it is basically a pilot for a spin-off of the show. And that's why it's called a backdoor pilot. And I feel that Ave Mujica is secretly a backdoor pilot for the Krychik live Bang Dream Band.
Oh.
Yeah, that's our theory. You heard it here first, people.
This is actually about Krychek.
Yeah, it's all been
It's
about
like-
Krychek.
It's like how Naruto is called Naruto, but it's actually about Sasuke.
Or it's about Burrito's dad's friend, Sasuke. That's a great meme. Bring that meme back, please, people. So we want to thank you. We've had so much fun doing this. And this is, I hope you have a great day. Write a manifesto in.
Yeah, and we got a manifesto, so that's great.
We
So,
did
yeah,
get it. We got a manifesto a while back.
Keep the manifestos coming.
Keep the manifestos coming. If you have any other theories about how the cat girl is real or not a cat, she's a human being, I don't think she is. Write us in. markspilver@gmail.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day. I am your co-host, Angus Next Door, and this is my co-host.
Helicopter.
All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And Togawa. And thanks for enjoying Ave Peace. Bye.
おはようございます。あらあら。あらあら。
おい工藤